Rainollon here. Today is another build showcase and it's the Phantasma Prime. So let us immediately start. But first I'm going to spawn a bunch of enemies and show you what happened to Phantasma. So Phantasma kinda get buffed a lot. When they released the Warframe 1999, we got a new mod and a new Arcane that kinda made Phantasma quite good now. And yeah, I'm going to proc a bunch of elements, 138 stacks of heat, puncher, radiation, magnetic, and also viral. A bunch of elements, 147 stacks, a bunch of elements. So that's the weapon. Now it's time for me to show you the build. So the mods I'm using on my Phantasma Prime, let us immediately start. So let's start with the mods first. The mods, Magnetic Strife, which is a brand new mod, gives you magnetic damage, which is quite good. Magnetic did get reworked, now also affects overguard enemies, which is Eximus units, and you break their overguard quicker. And once you break overguard and shield, you also proc electricity, so another element which complements Gavin Chevy quite a lot, and also gives you a ton of fire rate, which is quite good for a 7 capacity mod. Toxin Barrage gives you Toxin stash chance, and Frigid Blast gives you Cold and stash chance. Cold and Toxin gives you Viral. Viral is still really good. Galvanous Hell for a lot of multi-shot. Galvanous Chevy, stash chance, and direct damage stash on target. Incendiary Coat gives you a lot of heat damage. Prime Point Blank for increased damage. And Repeated Clip. On reload, you get 105% fire rate when aiming for 9 seconds. This weapon's magazine size is low, so you're going to be constantly reloading, but thank God this weapon's reload speed is really freaking fast. It's 0.5 seconds, so you're going to always have this, and it's a bunch of fire rate. You're going to proc a bunch of elements, and I will highly recommend. So those are the mods. For the Axel's Weapon Adaptive Slot mods, I will recommend going for Sinister Reach for 12 meter beam length. This is really good. I've always recommend people to go beam length on any beam weapon. You will notice a massive difference when you shoot and chain with beam weapons. It's a massive difference. So I will highly recommend. It's a 5 capacity only, and you can easily shove it somewhere here. So those are that's the Axel's Weapon Adapter. For the Arcane, Primary Crocs. Primary Crocs is a brand new Arcane on weak point hit, which is headshotting. Headshotting with Phantasma Prime is very easy, and you get 30% stash chance and 6% ammo efficiency for 10 seconds. Stacks up 10 times, so that's 300% stash chance, which is really good, and 60% ammo efficiency. Ammo efficiency means that there's a 60% chance that you will not waste ammo when you shoot your weapons. So this weapon has a really low magazine size, and there is a 60% chance that my beam shots will not waste ammo, which is quite good for the Phantasma Prime. So stash chance and ammo efficiency for this weapon, really good for this weapon. So that's the Arcane. For the passive, Alternative Fire charges a plasma bomb that releases 5 seeking projectiles on explosion, plus 4 magazine size when wielded by Revenant. This passive sucks. The alt fire is kinda bad, but I will still talk about it. So that's the passive. For the base stats, for the base regular shooting, base shooting, your fire rate is extremely high. Your your multi-shot is really high. Magazine size is kind of lowish, but maximum ammo from pickup is really nice. Reload speed is really fast. Accuracy is very high. Trigger is hold. 23 beam range with Sinister Reach is going to be much higher. Ribbon Dispo, I will not recommend a ribbon for this. It's kind of low. Critical chance is horrible, so I'm not focusing on critical chance. Critical multi is slightly below average. I will not focus on critical multi. Stash chance is quite good. Plus additional 300% from this. This is going to be much higher. You're going to proc so many elements in a very short time and proc a bunch of heat procs. Viral, magnetic, radiation, heat, impact, and also when you break shields and overguard, you proc electricity. So that's 6 elements, which is quite nice. And the weapon comes with impact, radiation, and I have magnetic, viral here, and heat. So that's the base form, and the total damage is quite good. For the alternative fire, which is the shooting a grenade launcher, bomb explodes, seeks out enemies' heads, and it just doesn't do a lot of damage. It has a charge time, really weak fire rate. Multi-shot is 2.1, which is less than the base forms. Has the exact same magazine size and reload. It has no punch through, it's a AoE. That also seeks out enemies. Critical chance is worse, critical multi is worse, stash chance is better, but the total damage on initial hits is horrible. And the AoE explosion is also really bad, really low. I think the 4.8 meter radius is not that great for AoE explosion. The stash chance, 111, is quite nice, but the damage is quite low for AoE explosion. That also seeks out enemies, and it just isn't worth it in my opinion. I will still use it to show you, but it's not that good. So that's the alternative fire, the base mode, the passive, the mods, the arcane. Time for me to show you in game. One very nice thing about the Phantasma Prime, it's a one forma setup, and this thing just like annihilates. So time for me to show you yet again against enemies. I'm going to unpause this time, make myself invincible so I don't die. Level 200 steel path for computer group dudes. No buffs or armor strip, just raw damage from the weapon itself. Wait for the butchers to come out. I'm going to shoot them in the head to get the primary crocs. As you can see, I already have 10 stacks of primary crocs, which is 300%. What was it? 300% status chance and 60% ammo efficiency. So when I hold my left click, you're going to see that I'm barely using my ammo, even if how fast I shoot this weapon. It's barely using it. This is a massive component. Like I said, you're going to proc more elements and more heat, which you'll pretty much your damage will be much higher. So now I'm going to pause them yet again. They have no chance against this thing, so yeah, 137 stacks there. It's quite good. This weapon was always like a decent beam weapon and a decent single target DPSer. But the problem was there's so much downtime, you spend more time reloading than shooting the weapon. With primary crocs giving you a large amount of stash chance, proccing a bunch of elements, and also shooting it longer than reloading. It's kind of changed the weapon that is much more disgusting. So that's the against the Orc and Belly Group dudes. Now I'm going to show you against the Corpus. Corpus are weaker, but we have magnetic procs, so if you're going to break their shields quite fast. I did test it against Eximus units. It's also destroys them really fast. Magnetic is just quite good now, especially on heavy status weapons like this. So that's against the Corpus. The Infested, it's hilarious. They also die really fast. That's the Ancient over there. Bunch of stacks on this guy. Very loud enemy for some unknown reason. That's against an Infested. It's like against any faction you're going to have a very easy time. I will say the only faction like struggled against these guys, but we barely fight these guys, so who cares? And I will also show you against the Gunir. The most common enemy everybody loves fighting. And that heavy gunner despawned with 104 stacks of heat, 324,000 heat procs. A heat to damage dot. 127. Yeah, nothing's going to survive this. 66 stacks of heat, and that's more than enough to kill a level 200 bombard. It's a much better weapon thanks to the new mod Magnetic Strife and also primary crocs. It became a pretty good beam weapon. It was always a decent beam weapons for single target DPSing or proccing a bunch of elements in a small line. We have a plenty of weapons like this that proc a bunch of elements like Quartic Vandal, Phage, and stuff like and Cortex. But now this thing kind of rivals those other guys, and it's a pretty good weapon now, I will say. So that's the Phantasma Prime. One forma setup, very cheap, very easy to get all of the mods. And I hope you enjoy the build. Thank you everybody for watching. Leave a like, sub, and see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.